Hey everyone, Eric here. So let's do a little thought experiment. I want you to grab your phone and just imagine for a second, what if you could go back in time, just 15 years, and show this device to your younger self? I mean, what would you even think? It's this magic slab of glass with no keyboard, it streams movies from the sky, it knows exactly where you are on the planet. You'd probably think it was straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But here's the crazy part. That science fiction is now just normal. It's our everyday reality. In just over a decade, these things have become such a huge part of our lives that we kind of just take all that incredible power for granted.
I mean, just think about the sheer scale of that shift. Our wallets, now on our phones. Paper maps, gone. We just listen to a GPS voice. Film cameras and photo albums, replaced by Instagram. This kind of change used to take like generations to happen, and we basically lived through it in the span of a single decade.
And that brings us to the core idea for today. If you thought the last decade was a wild ride, you really need to buckle up. Because the whole point of the book, The Future is Faster Than You Think, is that everything we've just seen, well, that was just the appetizer. The pace of change is about to go from fast to absolutely exponential. So the real question is, are you ready for what's coming? All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look under the hood at the engine that's driving all this insane acceleration. Then we'll take a quick peek at what tomorrow's world actually looks like. And finally, and most importantly, we're going to put together your personal playbook for thriving in the future. So let's jump right in.
So really, why is everything moving so fast? It kind of feels like 1 minute everyone's talking about big data, and then you blink and suddenly AI is just everywhere. What's going on? Well, according to the authors, the main driver behind all this is one incredibly powerful idea: convergence.
So what is convergence? Put simply, it's what happens when a bunch of different technologies smash into each other and create something brand new and way, way more powerful than any of the individual pieces. It's kind of like a chemical reaction. In the past, innovation was a bit siloed, a breakthrough here, a breakthrough there, but now they're all being poured into the same beaker and are starting to mix.
And the smartphone is the perfect poster child for this. It wasn't just one single invention, right? It was the convergence of a whole bunch of them. You had tiny microprocessors, GPS, lithium-ion batteries, amazing cameras. All these things existed separately. But the real genius was when they all converged into a single, seamless device. That's convergence in a nutshell.
So what's actually fueling this convergence? Well, the fundamental rule of the game is Moore's Law. You've probably heard of it. Basically, it says that the power of computers doubles about every 2 years, while the cost gets cut in half. And here's the really crucial part. Once any technology becomes digitized, turned into ones and zeros, it hops on that same exponential growth curve.
And that journey follows a really predictable pattern that the authors call the 6 Ds. Let's use the digital camera as an example. First, it was digitized. Then it went through a long, deceptive phase. Remember those early digital cameras? They were terrible, and nobody in the professional world took them seriously. But then, bam! Disruption. The quality suddenly got better than film, and giants like Kodak were basically toast. Then came demonetization. Taking pictures became free. Then dematerialization, when your camera vanished into your phone. And finally, democratization, putting a world-class camera into literally billions of hands. This cycle is the key to everything.
Okay, so here is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. That 60s cycle isn't just happening to one technology anymore, it's happening to dozens of them, all at the same time. We're talking AI, robotics, 3D printing, biotech, you name it. They're all hitting that disruption tipping point right now, and they're all starting to converge with each other. It's like someone just handed us an infinite box of every kind of Lego brick you can imagine. The potential combinations are just endless.
All right, so we get the why now. We understand the forces that are speeding everything up. So let's get to the fun part and take a quick tour of what this converged future is actually going to look and feel like in our daily lives.
Let's start with something we all do: shopping. Forget just typing into a search bar. In the very near future, you'll just tell your AI assistant, "Hey, I'm having a barbecue for 10 people this weekend, handle it." And it will know your friend's dietary needs, find the best prices, and just order everything. Thinking about a new jacket? Augmented reality will let you try it on right in your living room. And once you click buy, a drone might have it at your door in under 30 minutes. This is AI, AR, and robotics all converging to make shopping ridiculously easy and personal.
And what about healthcare? Well, the entire industry is about to flip upside down. Right now, it's all about treating you when you're sick. The future is all about preventing you from getting sick in the first place. Your smartwatch is already becoming a 24/7 health monitor. Soon, an AI will analyze that data constantly, spotting tiny signs of trouble months or even years before you'd ever feel a symptom. It's all about proactive health, not reactive medicine.
Sick of traffic jams? I know I am. Well, get ready for eVTOLs. That stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing Vehicles. But basically, they're flying taxis. And this isn't a dream. Companies are already testing them. At the same time, entertainment is about to get a major upgrade with VR and AR. Forget just watching a concert. Imagine being on stage with a band. Or forget just reading about ancient Rome. Imagine walking through its streets. It's going to be wild.
Okay, I get it. Hearing all this stuff is super exciting, but it can also be, a little bit terrifying. It's totally natural to start asking questions like, what does this mean for my job? Are my skills going to be useless in 5 years? How does a normal person even begin to navigate this massive wave of change? And that brings us to what I think is the most important part of this whole thing.
So how do we do it? How do we not just survive, but actually thrive in this new world? Well, the authors argue that there has never been a better time in history to be an individual creator. Technology is handing us tools that, just a decade ago, were only available to massive corporations. The key is to shift your entire mindset from being a passive consumer to being an active creator. And here's the playbook for how to do just that.
The absolute number one, most important upgrade you can make is right between your ears. It's your mindset. See, most of us are trained to think in a linear way. You put in 1 hour of work, you get 1 hour's worth of results. But that just doesn't work in an exponential age. You have to start thinking exponentially. That means you stop thinking about 10% improvements and start looking for those 10x, game-changing opportunities. It's about expecting sudden, massive leaps forward, not just slow, steady progress.
Next, you have to get serious about lifelong learning. But the trick is to learn smart. You can't possibly learn everything, so focus on 2 key things. First, really understand the first principles, the basic rules of this new game, like Moore's Law and the 6 Ds we talked about. They're the foundation. Then, for everything else, adopt just-in-time learning. Don't waste time learning skills just in case you might need them. Learn exactly what you need right when you need it to solve a problem or build something today.
Now let's talk about AI, because I know this is a big one for a lot of people. It's easy to be scared of it, but the authors say we need to completely reframe the question. It's not about how do I compete with AI, the real question is how do I collaborate with AI? Let AI handle all the repetitive, data-heavy stuff it's great at. That frees you up to double down on the things that make us human: creativity, empathy, strategy, critical thinking. AI isn't your replacement, it's your superpower.
And finally, in a world that's changing so fast, you need an anchor. You need a North Star to guide you. The authors call this your MTP, or your massively transformative purpose. This is a clear, bold goal that's bigger than just making money. It's the why that gets you out of bed in the morning. It could be something huge, like making humanity a multiplanetary species. Or it could be more personal, like using technology to revolutionize education in my local community.
So there it is. That's your future-ready playbook boiled down to 3 simple steps. 1. Upgrade your thinking to be exponential, not linear. 2. Become a master of learning just in time, not just in case. And 3. Find and follow your massively transformative purpose. This is how you stay grounded and focused when the world is spinning faster and faster.
Ultimately, I think the message of this book is incredibly optimistic. It's a message of empowerment. The future isn't some fixed destination that we're all hurtling towards. It's not something that just happens to us. The convergence of all this amazing technology is giving us, as individuals, more power than any generation in history to solve big problems and to build the world we actually want to live in. The tools are right there in front of us. The only question left is, what are you going to build with them?
And that wraps up our look at The Future is Faster Than You Think. If you got some value out of this, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share it with a friend. And definitely let us know in the comments what book you'd like us to break down next. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.